Hi everybody, Lori here from Unique in the Creek, and today I'm going to do an oval project with this beautiful 12-inch metal Santa sign. I'm going to be using a red and white border stripe mesh, this gorgeous holly ribbon with the glitter on the berries. This is one of my favorites. This is a glittered velvet canvas ribbon, really nice quality. We're going to be using the oval Unique in the Creek board. We're also going to be using some clothespins, zip ties, and wire nippers. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is put on my cable mounts onto the back of my sign. We're going to need a little bit of hot glue just for the cable mounts, okay? Now, I like to use hot glue plus some super glue. You can use hot glue in E6000, hot glue in DAP. I like to use the hot glue to give it some, it sticks our cable mount on immediately. And then the E6000, Gorilla Glue, DAP, and stuff like that, it takes a little bit more to dry, but this will keep your these things, cable mounts, on permanently, okay? What I like to do, though, is on the back of the cable mount, there is this little foam pad. Take that off, okay? It's doing nobody any good. Peel it off. So that way we are going to glue the cable mount right to the metal, and we don't have there's no chance of the padding coming off then of the cable mount. Okay? That's okay, Dana Downs. You go buy those kits, girly. Now the kits do ship separately from our kitting. We have a kitting facility over in Buffalo, New York. So they do ship separately. So if you buy a kit and you buy some like extra boards or ribbons or anything, your boards and ribbons will come separately from your kit. Okay, just to let you guys know that. All right, so here's our nicely little folded pipe cleaners. Let's stick. You're going to put your pipe cleaner right through the cable mount, and that way we can glue it easily. Okay. And if you hear any grunting or groaning or anything, it's just Duchess laying on the floor. She always has to be in my craft room when I'm crafting. I think it's because my craft room is possessed. Actually, I'm pretty convinced of it. All right. So there is 2 little holes at the top and bottom of the sign. I'm just going to line it up with a line on my cutting mat so I can see it. So I know that it's centered, and I am going to put my cable mounts on the left and right. So what I'm going to do is take my hot glue. Now, if you don't live in a really hot state or anything, you can just use hot glue. I use Gorilla hot glue sticks, but just be forewarned, the cable mount may pop off with just hot glue. So I do both. Hot glue for immediate contact, and then the super glue or E6000 to keep it on permanently. So there's one. Hi, Dorothy Quakenbush. So we're going to I do it the sides with the hot glue, and then the top and bottom and middle with my Gorilla Crazy Glue. And if you're an avid crafter, you should have some crazy glue or some E6000 or some DAP, some kind of strong adhesive glue in your craft room. It's pretty much a must. There we go. We're going to set this sign to the side because we are not going to need it till near the end. Okay, so our sign is ready to rock and roll. All right, once your cable mount is back on your side, and we're going to start with cutting our mesh. Now this mesh is a 10-inch by 10-yard roll of mesh. There's 2 of them if you've purchased the kit. We're going to cut this mesh at 18 inches. Okay, so if we need 20 pieces, 20 at 18 inches, so that should only take 1 roll of mesh. Okay, so what you're going to do is just scoot it along your mat here. And I have a 36-inch mat, so I can make 2 cuts at once. So I'm going to line it up, cut it at the 18, and then again I'm going to cut it at the 36. If you only have a smaller mat, you can cut it at the 18 and just keep cutting the whole roll. You'll need 20 pieces of mesh at 18 inches. Okay, and then the next we're going to do is we are going to cut our ribbons and get our ribbon packets ready. Now I'm going to be using 20 pieces of each of these ribbons. It's a lot of ribbon in the wreath, so if you want to cut back, we are going to put on every other row, we are going to put 2 pieces of ribbon. So these 2 in 1 zip tie. On the inner row, if you want to save some ribbon, you can just do 1 piece of ribbon per every other hole. That way you only need 5 pieces on the inner. So 5 pieces of this and 5 pieces of this, and you can alternate. It is totally up to you how you want to make it. If you like my version when I do it, then it's going to be 20 of each. Okay, and I'm going to take my measure buddy and we're going to cut 20 at 14 inches. Now I've prepared some already, so I'm only going to cut a few here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's cut 4 right now. Alrighty. And if you don't have a measure buddy, you can just use a cutting mat. You can use a fabric measuring tape, whatever you can get for and measure 14 inches. All right, and now what I'm going to do is fold this over, and I'm going to dovetail the end of my ribbon. So I folded it lengthwise, and I'm going to cut from the fold to the corner, and that'll give us our nice V shape in our ribbon tails. So you just want to make sure the ends are together. Fold it in half. And there we go. And then we'll do the same for the 1.5. And if you're looking for a measure buddy, we do sell them on uniqueinthecreek.com. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, I'm going to be using 20 pieces of ribbon. You don't have to. You can use 15. But we're going to make a nice full wreath. Again, I'm dovetailing these. Okay. All right, our ribbons are ready. Next, what I like to do is prep all my ribbons and have them ready to go. And what I mean by that is I'm going to make ribbon packets. So I'm going to fold my 2.5 inch in half, fold my 1.5 inch in half, and tuck it in. So it's all ready to go when I need them. Alrighty, so I have 20 ribbon packets all ready to go. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start building our wreath. And we're going to be using, on the oval, you'll see 2 chamfered or divoted holes right at the top. Okay, that is the top of your wreath. And halfway down, right in the middle, you'll see I put 2 black marks. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to put 2 black marks on the back. Just right here and right here. I'm just marking, that's where these 2 holes are where my sign pipe cleaners are going to be placed. Now, if you want to write on the back as well, you can. This will come off with some isopropanol alcohol. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to preload my board, and I'm going to start with the row 1 right in between the 2 hanging holes, and I'm going to go down and up and keep my zip tie open, down and up, every other one, starting from, like I said, row 1 in the middle here. And we're building this wreath step by step. Now you can use pipe cleaners, and when you're using with ribbon tails, sometimes pipe cleaners are much easier. However, I like the look, the clean look of the zip ties, and I also like how sturdy and how tight they keep everything in. So that's why I use zip ties a lot. If you want to use pipe cleaners, you can do the exact same thing. Load your pipe cleaner, and then you're going to twist your pipe cleaner instead of closing the zip tie like I'm going to do right now. Okay, so now what you're going to do is we're going to load our mesh. Okay, so we're going to take our 18-inch piece. Okay, we're going to place it curl up. So what curl up means, it rolls up. This would be curl down, curl up. And I'm going to just fold it about halfway. And you just have to just guesstimate. And fold that just like that. And we're going to just scrunch right up the middle of that and make this ruffle. I'm going to flip it over so that this seam is facing down on the board. I'm going to take the middle of this, put it right onto the board in between the zip tie head and tail, and do it up. Now I like to have my ruffle going towards the outside like that. So it makes a nice big ruffle going all the way around. So again, we'll do it, curl up, fold it, and bring the top down. So the top and the bottom are where you've actually cut your mesh. Make a bow tie. We're going to put it in the board, angled towards the outside, just like that, and do it up nice and tight. Alrighty, once you got all your mesh on, we're going to go around and we're going to snip off these zip tie tails. Just like that. Take your wire nippers or your zip tie gun and just go down right to the head of the zip tie and clip it all off. Okay, like I said, we're going to build this wreath step by step. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a zip tie again. And again, I am going to go down and up the exact place where I just put the mesh in. Down and up. Now you want to make sure when you do your zip tie that the tail and the head, when you put it together, will be facing each other, the flat part of the zip tie head. Alrighty, that was fast. Now we're going to put our ribbons in. So you're going to take one of your packet of ribbons, open it up. Now I like to step my ribbon, which means I put my ribbon just above the 2.5. So I put my 1.5 just like this. And then I'm just going to pinch right up the center of my ribbon and flip it up. And when I do this, my 1.5 inch is always in the middle. And you like to have your ribbons all consistent going around so it doesn't look like it's just thrown in and all willy-nilly. So there we go. So it's pretty much all fanned, and you just put that center right over top and do this zip tie up again. Pretty easy. We're going to keep these ribbons faced outwards. You want to make sure they're sitting nice. All right, and then just do that up and you can snip it off. We're going to go around and do this same thing for each one of those zip ties. Okay, once we got our outside done, nice and full already and sparkly and beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to work on the inside. Now, when you are building a wreath, you can start on the inside and work your way to the outside. For teaching purposes, I always start on the outside so you guys can see what I'm doing. But you'll see that I reach over my ribbon tails. So you may not want to reach over your ribbon tails. So where we're going to go is, this is where we went for the outside. So for the inside, we are going opposite. So there's the 3 holes. And we put on the outside one here. So the inside is going here. And again, I'm going to go in and just put my mesh exactly like I did for the outside. Put it right on the board. Zip tie around it. So it's kind of facing towards the outside. And we're going to skip this one, go to the next one. We can actually preload, just go down the hole, and we're going from this hole to the outside or the inside of the board. Okay, once you got all your mesh in, we're going to go around, cut off the tails of the zip tie. And she is full already. So now, again, I am going to, let's flip this over so you can see what I'm going to do. We're going to go around again with zip tie. And it's going to go around. And we're going to put our tail right over top again. Now this part, like I said, you don't have to use 2 ribbons. You can get away with just using 1 if you're watching your supplies or trying to keep costs down. But it looks so pretty with 2 ribbons. So we're just going down that hole to the outside like that. Take your ribbon again. And like I said, you may want to do this the inside first so you're not reaching over. And I kind of pull the head of the zip tie towards the back so you don't see it. And we'll fix all the tails as once we're all completed. Alrighty, so we are finished. This is one full wreath oval. It is measuring about 30 inches. 30 inches by 18. Perfect size. Okay, so now we're going to put our sign on. So I'm not going to fuss too much with the ribbon tails right now because we are going to kind of, let's push them back just a bit because we are going to put our sign on. And we did make a mark on the back of our board where our sign is going to go. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So when you flip this over, let's flip it. So our ribbons lay nicely. We're going to put our hanging zip tie in. So you're going to go down this hole and push the end back up this hole. Do it up till you hear the clicking and cut it off. Look how nice, we have a nice neat back. I am going to go around and just make sure all my mesh is pulled out to the side. It's nice and tight in there, which is what I like. Just want to make sure all this is, nothing's tucked in. You can see that beautiful mesh. Alrighty, so we are going to go with right here and right here and right here and right here with our pipe cleaners and our sign. And I think this is probably the most difficult part. Now, if you slide your board off the table, you can see the light through the holes. Okay, so our sign is going to go just, oh my gosh, that's going to be pretty. Just like that. And we're just going to slide my board off. And we are right in the middle. Now I can see I've made a little mark on the front. So I can see it on the board. Here we go. I'm going to give it a little twist so it doesn't come undone, but not tight because I have to do the other side. So there you can see it's in this hole and this hole. So we know the sign is going to be perfectly centered. Again, I'm going to do the exact same thing. Just kind of parting my mesh and my ribbon here, and I can see my mark. Let's slide this right off the table. And there we go. Give it a twist, and we'll tighten it once we got our ribbon tails pulled out and everything. There we go. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Alrighty, so you can see there's my pipe cleaners. Okay, next thing I'm just going to do is I'm going to pull out and fix all my ribbon tails. Make sure nothing is squished underneath because we did put a pipe cleaner down there, so we want these ribbons. There we go. So you want to make sure you fix, you took all this time to make this wreath. Make sure you fix the tails so that they look really nice. Bring them out. So we're doing the inside ones first. And then we'll work on the outside ones and it'll be done. Okay, there's the inner done. And this is a lot of ribbon, but it's sparkly and really pretty. And now I'm just going to do the outsides. Just straighten them up. I find just doing ribbon quite satisfying. Straightening out ribbon. I don't know why. Okay, I think we're all straightened out and we are done. This big bad boy is complete. It is stunning. We're going to just tighten the sign down just a little bit. Now, I'm not going to flip it over because I just did all my ribbon. I am going to pull the pipe cleaner down just a bit. And I'm off the table. Give it a twist. And then I'm going to do the other side. Again, I'm just feeling it's off the table, just pulling it down a bit. And it makes these ribbon tails spread really nicely. There we go. Now, if you want, you can add bow. I really don't think it needs a bow, but you can add a funky bow at the top and bottom if you want, but you have a ton of gorgeousness right here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm not putting it down, just holding it. It's very light. Just holding it up because I don't want to squish my ribbons, but I do want to put the pipe cleaners back down the holes so there's nothing that's going to scratch the back of the door. And you're going to put, if you're selling this, you're going to put your sticker or a business card taped on the back so they know where they can buy their spring and summer wreaths. There we go. There's the back, our hanging hole. There's our front. Stunning. Thanks for joining me, everyone, and I can't wait to see what you create. Bye.